Good morning, everybody. It's Monday, the 19th of June. Barry here. I'm coming up to 10 minutes to 7 here on this Monday morning. And here I am now at Narrowena, taking this beautiful shot of the sunrise. Just look at that. Just look at that, everybody. Look at that. And you can see there that the sun is coming up. Pink clouds about. And like I said, the time is 7:15. I haven't got time to bring along show to you this morning, but this is what this is a shot of the dog park just over here. Look at that. And I will leave you now to go and have some breakfast. So I'll talk to you later. Good morning, everybody. It's Barry here for the Monday update. Early update, of course, for Monday, June the 19th. And welcome along to you. It's just after 7:30 on Monday morning here. And thanks for joining me here. Well, some parts of Australia have been hit by a really cold snap. So if you're living in one of those states, guys, well, my advice to you is to rug up, okay? Stay warm, have some nice warm food, okay? And remember, like I said yesterday, if you've got COVID, stay home, stay isolated, cancel any events that you may have planned, and talk to your friends on Zoom. But I'm not talking about the COVID today. I'm talking about the cold weather that has hit. Well, winter has certainly arrived with a blast, and I can tell you guys out there and viewers out there that it is really cold. So please, guys, my advice to you today or this morning as I bring you the Monday update for Monday the 19th of June, okay, is please rug up, stay warm, wear a beanie like I'm doing, okay, and things like that. Winter is a time where we get sick, and if we don't have enough layers on, guys, you know what can happen, okay? We can get sick very quickly. And what is a cold? What is a cold? I will tell you, I have the answer for you right now here. A cold is when you're too cold and you've been sitting out in the cold for too long. You haven't got enough clothes on, and you dress in shorts and t-shirt. Well, the shorts and t-shirts are for the summer season and spring season. Okay, so a cold is also when you picked it up from somebody else who was already had the cold. You suddenly sneeze and then you get a runny nose, a sore throat, a headache, fever, chills, a lot. So, you step outside in the morning, okay, and you sit out there for a certain amount of time, okay, you you sit out in the cold for a, a long period of time, okay, and then you suddenly realize, oh, I've been sitting out in the cold for too long, and even when it's raining and cold too. So, guys, please, I urge you to not stand out in the cold for too long, okay? If it's raining, have a raincoat, a poncho, and an umbrella handy, because even though it is definitely not raining here at the moment, you still have to be very careful at night and even early in the morning when it is dark. So if you're gonna go out in the cold, guys, and in the rain and in the dark, rug up and stay warm, because winter is a time where you can get sick very easily and you can pick up COVID too. So um, that's another thing to do with winter. So tips to avoid getting sick: stay away from people that have had the cold, okay? Don't come into work, cancel your shift, stay in bed for a couple of days until you feel more alive. Excuse me. Stay in bed until you feel more alive and human. Okay? Have a nice hot shower and then step out and then climb back into bed again. Okay? Eat nice, warm, healthy foods. Okay? Because that really warms the body up, and have a nice warm bowl of porridge like I had this morning. Okay, so eat nice warm food to keep your body warm, and have lots of food too, and vitamin C. So I will give you more of an update on this unfolding story throughout episode 30 coming up today at St. Times. But in the meantime, you stay rugged up, everybody. The time is coming up to 7:45 here on Monday morning, the 19th of June. Welcome everyone to episode 30 now on this Monday morning, and I'm Barry there along with Alex Taylor.
Hey everyone.
And today we're going to talk about how important it is to stay rugged up during the winter. Now, I did a little spiel at my Narrowena studio this morning, and winter is a time of people getting sick. And to tell us more about that, good morning to Alec. Welcome to episode 30 today.
Good morning, Barry. Thanks for having me on the show. Yeah, it definitely has set in now, hasn't it? Winter is here and it is definitely cold. I see you've got your beanie on, so you're well rugged up to stay warm in this cold weather.
So, as you saw in the opening sequence, back at the house today, beautiful sunlight, so I will include that in today's video. Now, last Monday was the King's birthday, but we won't be talking about that because that was 7 days ago. And so was the Hunter Valley bus crash. Let's keep this show upbeat and interesting. Well, this morning the new intro and outro is on the show, and we're going to be talking about the previous intros and outros too, but we will get to that in a moment. Now, Sydney was blasted with some cold air this morning, like a supermarket freezer, like you're going and just stepped out of a supermarket freezer. So guys, don't go to the store for your ice cream. Step outside and get a container of ice cream there. So while I am talking, I will have a mug of tea. And talking of tea, we must warm up with some tea. Here's Alec now.
Yeah, thanks, Barry. It certainly is cold at the moment, isn't it? We all have to stay warm. Yeah, and it's funny to think that ice creams would be absolutely kept cold overnight at the moment with the temperatures. They're super low. Apparently there was a snow, sort of a blizzard all over the weekend down in the snowy mountains. So I guess we're kind of getting that front that has come through all the way from down there up here now.
So it feels like that we're in the Antarctic, guys, and here's Vader now. Good morning. You're nice and rugged up too.
I sure am. I've got my hoodie and a t-shirt and a Spencer underneath. I'm nice and warm. It was
a hat to keep you warm.
And a hat too, yes. It was 6 degrees when I left this morning from the Central Coast. So it's definitely cold at like 10 to 7 in the morning. So it's nice to be able to rug up and put layers on and keep yourself warm. Whereas in summer, like when it's too hot, you can only take so many layers of clothing off, right? And then you're still hot. So that's the benefit of winter, I think. What do you think, Barry?
Well, the benefit of winter is there's a nice open fire, and a mug of hot soup with a couple of toasties. Now, do you remember when we brought up a couple of seasons ago, back in 2021, dressing appropriately for winter? We've done this on this season too. Now, like I said this morning, I can always have enough layers to keep you warm. Here's Alec now.
Yeah, thanks, Barry. Absolutely. Definitely need lots of layers. And the more layers, the warmer you can get, and also the easier it is to cool down when you do go inside into a warm place. So you can just kind of quickly strip off an outer layer or two, and so you're not overly hot when you're in a warm place. So as we are this morning, we're in a nice warm place in St Ives Lifestyles Centre, and we can easily take a layer off if we start to get too hot. and then when we leave again, we can put another layer on. So it's a good idea, isn't it, to wear lots of layers?
So, like I said in my show, back in my little show back at Narrowena, okay, you get sick because you are either too hot or, well, too cold, I should say. Why did we get a cold? Well, as I said in the report before I left to do the show, you've either got not enough layers on, okay, you're in shorts and a t-shirt, well, you need to go to Darwin for that, where it's 32, 33 degrees all round, all year round. The cold is when you have got the cold from someone else, or they cough and sneeze all over you. Here's Alec now.
Yeah, that's right, Barry. So exposure is one of the big factors, isn't it? So if you're out and about in the public and somebody has a cold and they're not taking precautions, they're not wearing a mask or whatever, not resting at home, they can expose you to a cold, and it's very easy to catch a cold. And I think we're even more aware of that now post-COVID, aren't we? That the transmission is out there, colds, the flu, COVID. Everybody has to take care and make sure and think about other people, don't they? So that they don't make other people sick.
So also, to prevent getting a cold, drink plenty of warm fluid, such as a nice warm cup of tea.
Or even a warm coffee or a warm hot chocolate, something like that. Always nice to have a warm drink, isn't it? And it sort of warms you up from the inside. It's a great way of getting warm if you're feeling cold. So, and as you say, fluids, right? You've got to make sure you're well hydrated, so that your body is at maximum health and immunity.
So, you can make a hot lemon and honey drink as well, okay? Now what you do is get a couple of lemons, squeeze them in some hot water, add a couple of teaspoons of honey, and mix it up. You can even mix some orange juice there. Here's Alec.
Yeah, absolutely. And the therapeutic benefits of lemon juice and honey have actually been proven scientifically. So both of those things are actually proven to be good for you and your body and your immunity. So yeah, fantastic warm drink to have on a cold winter's morning.
So, another way of preventing sickness is sanitizing your hands. So, I'm going to give you a demonstration too on how to keep your hands clean.
Nice one. Have to do a quick search for a sanitizer bottle. There's always one around though, isn't there? Every room you go to, there's going to be one.
So,
would you like to do a demonstration, Barry, with your hands?
Yep, so
All right.
for those of you watching at home now, this is a pump pack. Taylor's, I don't know how your surname got on the bottle.
No, mate, I don't know either. What's going on there? I promise there's no link, mate. We don't have anything to do with
know
making
anyone
hand
about?
sanitizer.
So, let me give you a demonstration on how to sanitize the hand. Here we go.
Nice work, mate.
So rub the sanitizer in like this, okay? And make sure you get all the fingers as well. Because guys, you don't know what germs have been lurking around. Here's Lena now.
Yeah, so this was something that came, that's always been around. It's been out for quite a few years, actually. But when COVID hit, it was like a saviour, especially for those in the health industry. And it became, widely available, and also as a result of COVID, quite expensive compared to what it used to be, what it used to cost. It was like liquid gold. And it really is fabulous. It kills, I think it's 99.9% of all germs, including the coronavirus. And it's a great substitution for when you don't have access to water and soap to be able to wash your hands like the traditional way. And also it's got a nice smell. Most of them are moisturised and have an element of moisturiser as well in them, which keeps your hands nice and soft, especially if you're using it often. Barry, did you want to talk to sometimes how your hands feel after you've got it on, just to explain to people that perhaps can't feel it?
Well, your hands feel dry afterwards. So guys, sanitizing is really important. Here's Alec now.
Yeah, it absolutely is important. And as Peter said, it's a great alternative to washing your hands, because you don't always have access to water and soap to give your hands a wash. And so it's a really easy way of cleaning your hands very, very quickly. And it does dry quickly too, doesn't it? So I must have some, alcoholic agents or something in it that makes it dry really quickly. So your hands don't stay wet, but yet they're clean. So it's magic stuff.
And another way of preventing sickness, guys, is don't go too close to someone if they've had a cold. Here's Alec now.
That's right, mate. Yeah, so you want to, if someone's got a cold or seems to be still, coughing or sneezing, it's actually best to stay well away, and even wear a mask for yourself, to protect yourself from other people, particularly if you are around someone who has been sick. It's a good idea. But mate, I actually have to shoot through. So thank you for having me on the show this morning. Just a short guest appearance from me. But you have a good day and have fun with the video, and let me know how you go with the new intro and outro.
Yeah, so Vader and I will take over, so we'll just pause back. Welcome back. This is Barry and Vader now. Now I'm giving you a demonstration on how to use sanitizer. Always have sanitizer on hand. Here's Vader now.
Hello there. So we did a little demonstration earlier with Barry. The correct way though to use the sanitizer is to pop your finger on top if you can and do one full pump of the sanitizer product. Then it comes out like this. If you can see that it's like a little gel and it's a bit slippery. Bring your other hand on top and start to give it a good swirl in hand and cross, and then over your hand and over your hand and inside, all, like Barry was saying, all the different fingers, give them all a rub, and it'll feel a bit like alcohol, like it's got it's cold and bit air. When you do this, you feel cold air, like with the air. But that, if you allow that to completely dry, that your hands are completely sanitized and any 99.9% of germs and bacteria are gone. Now here's a fun fact though. You can't use this sanitizer indefinitely. So I would say personally, I believe between 5 to 10 goes of cleaning your hands with sanitizer, you actually do need to wash your hands properly with soap and water, because there is a slight build-up of the product, as you can imagine, and eventually your hands will feel so sticky and they won't dry nicely, and you actually will need to wash them properly with warm water and soap. Back to you, Barry.
So we're gonna show you a can of Glen 20 now. So Glen 20 is another germ killer for the winter months. So pour that.
All right. I've got one. All right. Okay. Go again.
So Glen 20, guys. This is another germ killer. We'll give you a demonstration on how that works. So, it kills 99% of germs, okay? So, if there are germs lurking around, kill them. Here's later.
All right, so this is actually quite interesting because Glen 20's been around for a long time in Australia, and is one of the top leading spray disinfectants that we had and still have. And it was very interesting because prior to COVID, it was very good at killing germs and bacteria like E. coli, salmonella, golden staph. They're just to name a few, and then also very good with viruses pre-COVID. So the rhinovirus, influenza, the avian flu that we had, the bird flu, polio virus, herpes, simplex viruses, was very good at eliminating those bacteria and germs and viruses. So it was only, I guess, fitting that they did some research to see whether it could actually, in fact, kill coronavirus COVID-19. And they found that it could, which was amazing. So this was a staple in I know, my house and probably many houses during the peak COVID crisis. And it was very good. Now, this is not only just to spray in the air, it's also for surfaces and for fabrics. So it removes germs across a multitude of things, a multitude of items, as well as just the air. So it's a very good product, and I honestly believe, like, this is hospital grade stuff, and I honestly do believe that you should have this as a staple in your home.
So, just before we get into the closing stages, I'd like to tell you how not to drive the van properly. And I will pause that and tell you. Now, our last segment today is how not to drive a CPA van. Don't drive without your seatbelt on. Okay, I forgot to mention that on episode 29. Okay, do not drive clients without the back straps or the front straps. Do not put the chairs on backwards on the hoist. That is very dangerous. Here's Beta now.
Yes, so this, when you start working at CPA, part of the amazing induction is that all staff actually have a vehicle van training and also an assessment at the end of that, where they can guide you through the do's and don'ts, you know, and I know today is about the don'ts. But yes, one of the reasons why it's not good to load clients on backwards is because we need everyone facing the front when we're driving. And also it feels very unnerving to be facing outwards when you're going up on a hoist. So there are many, I'm sure there are many other reasons, but they are the two most important. Also in terms of securing the wheelchair in the van.
Which we demonstrated to you on Friday.
Yeah.
On episode 29. So for those of you that haven't seen the video of that yet, today we might even go over some of this, and we will also tell you about the song today too, to finish off the show. Now, as Vader said, it is very dangerous to load a person on backwards. Here she is.
Yeah, I think for and you can vouch for this and tell me whether you think it's so, but I think there's so many like reasons, and the main one for me would be feeling unsafe as you're being lifted up in the hoist to get into the van. It must feel very uncomfortable facing backwards and looking out at the world as you're being lifted up rather than facing the inside of the van. How does that feel when that happens, or has that ever happened to you, Barry?
Well, yes.
It has.
Because like you're nervous and you think you're gonna fall off the thing.
That's right, yeah.
And another thing, guys, like I mentioned, just going back over the hoist, make sure that the staff put up the hoist before a client reverses back, excuse me, even on a manual wheelchair, because the brakes might be off, the chair might roll back, and bang. So guys, be really careful. Okay, and I've also said clients are not allowed to operate their electric wheelchairs, and also if they refuse to let you operate the chair, staff can refuse to take the client. Good morning and welcome back. Before the break, we were talking about bus safety and how important it is to pay attention. Now, another thing when staff are around CPA vehicles, do not, and we repeat, do not leave anyone unsupervised in the van, because they could tip backwards, like I said earlier. Here's Vader now. Good morning.
Good morning, Barry. Thanks for having me back after our short break. I honestly believe and feel the exact same way with what you were just saying about supervision. I think as disability support workers and practitioners, part of our duty of care is to ensure that while we are supporting you, that we do our best to keep you safe and to prevent any major life-threatening accidents to happen. So I'm a big, strong believer in that, in van safety and in supervision, and also ensuring that that before we take off into anywhere, that the clients feel comfortable and safe.
And make sure that you don't have the straps on too loosely either.
That's right.
Because if you suddenly go zoom around the corner, the chair could go lopsided or tip backwards or forward like Peter was saying during the break before, after the battery went. So, guys, if you don't know how to transport people safely in vehicles or around vehicles, don't bother driving them, because you are not only putting yourself in danger, but everyone else around you as well.
Yeah.
Here's Bladen now.
Yeah, look, that's right. I mean, part of, of supporting clients is doing some transportational kind of work. But I do know that CPA also, if you're not confident or you don't have a license, I know that they do and still will see to it to find you a position within our lovely company here that can have you still supporting our clients and doing perhaps other duties. But I do think that we forget just how serious transporting clients around can be. It's a very serious job, and I often find myself thinking, as an able-bodied person that doesn't live my life in a wheelchair, I often find myself wondering what it must be like sitting in a wheelchair, on a van, sitting in a van and being transported. And I wonder maybe if you could explain that a little bit, Barry, how it feels.
Well, sitting in a wheelchair in a van can be very uncomfortable, especially if you're going on long trips. So, if you're going somewhere like Newcastle, stop and let the clients have a break, like give them a drink or a snack while you are refueling the vehicle. Because, like the staff, it is a long time in a bus, especially if clients get tired easily, even before their day begins. So make sure that the clients are well rested before they go on an outing. Give their face a wash with a wet flannel to wake them up.
Yeah.
Give them a cup of coffee that will wake them up also. And it's really important, as well as the staff, the clients are aware of what is happening in the van and around the van, because they may not know what has happened. Here's Brandon now.
Yeah, look, no, that's true. I think that everyone is meant to stop, revive, survive, which is, a government initiative. Driving tired or feeling like, you need to have a break. I think that that's a very valid point that you made there. Like, not only the driver, but even the passengers need to have a rest, a bit of a stretch, a bit of something to eat, like a nice drink. And because I can only empathise with you and imagine that it must be tricky. Always, for a long trip, having to not be able to move or stretch, yourself, and And then on top of that, like dealing with things like traffic things like driving too fast and speeding must be hard too.
And let people know what has happened as well, in case there's been something happened on the road, like an accident or breakdown, okay, because back in 1993, I went up to the Gold Coast for the school holidays, and we stayed at Port Macquarie overnight at Lighthouse Beach, and the next morning we stopped to have a look at a map, and there were roadworks, and the passenger was looking at the map, and then all of a sudden, bang, someone had run up the back of our minibus.
Do you want to explain how that felt?
And it felt really scary for us at that time, because like the other person in the car, they had bald tires and all of that. So, which brings me on nicely again to Friday's subject about bald tires. Never, and I repeat, never, ever drive with bald tires, because that can cause a serious accident. The tire can go bang straight off the rim of the vehicle, so always check for any wear and tread that's worn on the tires, people, if you are driving CPA vehicles. Another thing is checking the wire on the lift where you operate the hoist, okay? If the wire is frayed, it needs to be reported pretty much straight away, because looking up the CPA vehicle guys is very, very important. And a couple of little things that I did forget is the handbrake. Make sure you've got a good working handbrake. Here's Rita now.
Yeah, Barry, everything you're saying here this morning is perfect, and it's exactly very, very timely reminders and good reminders, especially that we've just had the long weekend as well. It's really important that like we don't just view any vehicle, especially a CPA van, but any vehicle as just something that we use to get around, rush around in and do our jobs in and things like that. Like, it's very important that we see it as a tool that has been an amazing invention that we all like love and use, like most of us, every day, and that we, you know, care for it and do the necessary checks, especially when it comes to transporting clients for a work, in a work situation. That should be part of what we're doing as we are loading and getting ready to take any of our clients on an adventure. Very important that we just do a little check. We look around and check the tyres, check the hoist, check the state of the car doors, the mirrors, make sure we've got enough fuel. You know, that's something that's quite big. And
I did mention that on Friday too on the show. So guys, you know, it's really important that you pay attention to what you're doing, not only in the vehicle, but out of the vehicle as well. So guys, treat the vehicle as it was your own, okay? Don't treat it like a racing car, okay? And don't get out of the way when you're driving, because remember guys, you are not the only one out on that road, because think of the people in the van as well. Don't frighten them with your rage. Here's Rita now.
Yeah, no, that's true. I think it's important to have a calm attitude and a calm demeanour when you're driving, especially with the craziness of some of our roads these days and the motorways and things like that. So, you know, if you're having a hard day and something's happened in your personal life or at work and you feel a little bit stressed or frazzled, and there's someone else that perhaps may be able to drive the van that day and provide you with that support, you know, you can do that. Like, it's okay. You know, we all have harder days, and, you know, we all have days where we need a bit more support from each other and from our colleagues. So for me personally, you know, always put your clients at the centre of all you do and of all the decisions you make, and you can't go wrong.
So if you drive the vehicle correctly, guys, you will have a smooth and safe trip, okay? And that's basically it.
Yeah.
And there's no need to be stupid on the road, because it's not just stupid people out there, it's the sleepy drivers as well, okay? Think about the people that lose their lives on the road, like the 10 people last Sunday evening. Just going back to that, there were, and think of the weather conditions too. Look on the weather, if the visibility's good or not. If not, you will have to wait till the visibility is okay for you to drive. Think of the water and ice on the road. Here's Rita now.
Yeah, look, sometimes, you know, you do have to put off trips or start times for trips and adventures because because of the environmental factors that you can't help. So like I remember one morning I went out to my car to come to work, and I was staying at my mum's for that night, and I was about to leave from my mum's, and I realised that there was snow on the ground and all over my car, and I couldn't get down from Katoomba to Sydney because they'd closed the roads because there was sleet and things like that on the road. So, you know, sometimes these things happen. There may have been, you know, sometimes there are alternate routes or things you can do to make it happen still, but like that was just a prime example of nature, you know, winning, you know, and you can't drive in that kind of condition, and that's okay too.
So, this is where we like to close the show by saying all this. Remember, going over, staying rugged up and warm, please do that, okay? It's no good coming into work if you're not well, because you spread your germs around all over the place and make everyone else sick. So you've been watching episode 30 today, and a brand new intro and outro today. And we've been practicing for my new album as well, so we'll talk about that on the next show. And the message that I'd like to close the show with now is one of my favorites, and that is 000, please do not, and please do not ring 000 except if you have a life-threatening emergency. Okay. 000 is not there to be buggered around with. It's an emergency number only. Here's Brandon now to close the episode 30 with this.
Thanks everyone for listening. It's been a lovely episode today. We've spoken about a lot of things. We always get back to a health-related topic because, you know, part of healthcare and the industry that both Barry and I are in every single day is health, and we like to. What is that, Barry? Your mobile. Look at that. Now that is live. Where is it, sweetheart? In here?
Yeah.
Going to pause it?
Yeah. So, guys, really do think is your urgency and emergency before you dial, because the wrong call that you make to 000 could really cost someone their life. And here's an example. I had to ring 000 not so long ago for the ambulance to come here because I was having a medical episode. And, you know, I'm going to put it out there. If you think about how many ambulances race to an emergency from the ambulance station next door. Think about the paramedics that could be out there saving lives. Don't tie them up. Here's Brandon now.
Oh, well, thanks everyone for joining us today. And it's a really lovely reminder from Barry. It's actually more than lovely. It's very, very important. And it's just a friendly reminder to use 000 with care and caution. And as you know from watching our shows and watching Barry's show, regularly, you know Barry has spoken about the importance of remaining vigilant and using it with discretion. So I really hope you enjoyed today's show and look forward to our next one.
So, episode 31 will be coming up in a few days from now. And just a reminder before we do review this Friday, our art show here. So, come along if you're in our area and have a squeeze. It's on Friday night and Saturday. So if you'd like to come and see the magnificent artwork, the poster there, for those of you that are artists, so come along and join us, okay, and have an evening of fun with us.
Yeah.
Come and see our facility, and also the performance coming up on the 15th of July as well. Come along and see the Performing Arts Group perform, and also the market's coming up on the 1st of July too, so a couple of events coming up here at our Syntype site. We do hope that you will come along and join us. So come and meet us. We'll show you around. We'd like to see you here.
Yeah.
And we will be having a tour of the place too. So bring the kids, it's going to be fun. So we'll tell you more about those two events coming up on the next show. But that's all from Vader and I. This Monday, I'm Barry Fair. You have a great Monday, and we'll see you the next time around. But until then, have a great Monday. It's coming up to 11:44 now. Have a great Monday, and we'll see you next time round. This has been episode 30 with Barry and Vader and Alex. You take care, and bye for now.